Guys, today we have Joe Rogan and Bill Burr basically talking about outrage culture, right? Basically, it seems like, and this has been like this for a while, anything that you do, if you even say the wrong thing, you just get bashed, you get the pitchforks thrown at you. It's crazy. And honestly, it's been like that for a long time. But the temperature is definitely rising, in my opinion. I'm an optimist. I try to be optimistic, but let's just keep it G. That's how it is right now. But we gonna see what Joe Rogan and Bill Burr have to say about this. Without further ado, we get right into it. Let's ride.
And men who are bitches. It's like these men that don't like aggressive. They don't like aggressive men. They don't like manly men. And so they push it as well.
Because they're aggressive and they're controlling and they want to run shit. And that's because that's the thing where, like, if you really look at their agenda, when they say the future is feminine, that's not inclusive. And they're all about, oh, make this more inclusive. It's like, no, let us in so we can take it over and then we'll push you down. Is the psychology of the kind of person that goes after that, someone that's after, like, power. I'm not saying the average woman is like that. My wife is a feminist and she's into, like, inclusive shit. But, like, people who are spearheading stuff.
Yes.
Like, those people are wired the same way, like, you know, I mean.
A dominator is.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's going to be no room for you. It's going to be like, think the way, like, a lot of that so-called progressives, extreme left is think the way we think, say what we say, or we will fucking destroy you.
Pull up that tweet that I retweeted today, the David Pakman retweet. David Pakman is this liberal progressive guy. This woman posts on Twitter she would never vote for a man or a white man or a white person, white or male, someone who's white or male. He says that's racist and sexist. It is. So she blocks him on Twitter. Today, she called Boston College demanding that they not have him back as adjunct faculty. It's crazy. So this woman posts this, and he points out that it's racist and sexist. So she blocks him, and she tries to get him fired.
Okay,
wow.
This is why that whole thing is fucked up. Okay, because he's acting like white people exist on an even plane, which a lot of people try to do. So it's like,
but he's not necessarily. He's just saying that what she's saying is racist and sexist.
Yes,
because she's determining who she's going to vote for based entirely on their race.
Yes, but there's other elements involved, like the level that.
Yeah, but we're just talking about that element in particular. And yeah, I mean, that is wild. Like, yeah, no, back to the video. That was crazy to me.
White people, not saying all white people, but white people have fucked over people who are not white. Forget about poor white people who they fucked over. So you understand that, but they're both right. But then, like, the fact that she then takes it to the point that because he had the audacity to have a difference of an opinion, that's the thing now, and that now we're going to destroy you and you can't be on this thing. And then the other level of that is how the corporate entities are so afraid that one fucking nickel is going to roll out the door. Because all of this shit is you're just a paper tiger until you get the big behemoth to listen to you. And there's all of these fucking things, from award shows to this bullshit, that someone just needs to be like, listen, this guy already apologized. This is an old fucking thing. Or, look, you just had a difference of opinion. That you know, this isn't the first time you're going to say something and somebody's going to disagree with you. That doesn't mean that this guy can't come back. You know, and you obviously, because of some shit that's happened to you, have an extreme opinion about this guy because of the color of his skin. It's like there's so many fucked up elements to that, but for some reason you can't, like, if you address that on any level, then you're part of the problem. And
then it's not just part of the problem. She's trying to get him fired. She's trying to get him fired for.
And that is the thing to me that's like, this is the problem. This is when I talk about, like, the pitchforks, when I say, yeah, they come after you. Guys, I'm not talking about them saying things. I'm talking about them doing things, like trying to get him fired, like Joe Rogan is saying, right? Completely different. Completely different if you have a difference of opinion versus I'm going to take away your ability to survive. That's different. Back to the video.
Pointing out that something is racist.
No,
and
I'm saying
sexist.
if you say what I just said,
yes.
Try to look at it 360.
Oh yeah, and you're
as much as I can, which is why I love South Park, because everything that they do it 360, right? And so I learned a lot from that show by the way they look at stuff like that, because I don't fucking know everything. But even just to try to be like, well, hey, you know, insulted him a little bit. I understand what you're saying and blah, blah, blah. You can't fucking do that anymore because then somebody, you're part of the fucking problem. And no, it's really gotten crazy. It's gotten to the point, like, I've seen, I'm not going to name names, but I've seen, like, a tweet from a fellow comic telling comics what jokes you shouldn't talk about this topic. It's like, who the fuck are you? It's like, there's already going to be enough people doing that. You're going to do, like, cannibalism now?
Have you really, you've really seen comics say that?
Yeah.
Real comics?
Yeah. I mean, everybody has their opinion on somebody's fucking act, but I mean, yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's not a real comic.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They are a real comic. They just have an opinion I don't agree with.
They can fuck off.
Yeah, well, I mean. I'm trying to have less confrontations
But I understand.
in my life here.
That kind of shit drives me crazy, though. What drives me most crazy is this bullying. Like, she's trying to get him fired. She's trying to get him fired for having an opinion on something that she publicly stated.
One of these, somebody running one of these things has to be like, and it can't just be private. It has to be a public tweet to say that it's just going too far. And this fucking thing where you have a difference of an opinion now and they're just going to, take your fucking job away. I ran into this shit, when the Me Too stuff first started coming out, people would try to, like, you had to tweet the right fucking thing, and if you said anything sort of, let's look at the evidence. God forbid you fucking said that. It just became like this whole you're part of the problem. And then they would try to take you down, or someone you were friends.
Or you got shadow banned, right? Not just Instagram, right? Not just Twitter, Instagram too. They had something that would come up and they would try to either fact check you or here's something. They don't do it as much anymore. I don't even think they do it at all anymore. I haven't seen that at all, but I remember that censorship was crazy during that time. I don't know if you guys remember, but back to the video.
With or doing a show with or represented by, they would try to do like that pressure to try, and it was just like, and all you had to say is like, no, I'm not doing that. And then it just goes away because you don't have a fucking leg to stand on.
Well, also the people that are doing it, it's a small percentage it's a very
unbelievably
vocal
small.
Yeah.
Unbelievably small. And comics, it's like we're literally running for office. We're out there campaigning for this election that never happens. And you're going through red states, blue states, you're going through fucking everything. And the general consensus of people is like, dude, that was fucking crazy. Like that doesn't make sense. But no one wants to say it because they're going to get steamrolled. And
well, you saw what happened to Matt Damon, right? Matt Damon said we have to make a differentiation between the Harvey Weinsteins in the world and then someone who, like Aziz Ansari, goes on a bad date. There's a big difference between those two. And they attacked him and they tried to get him pulled off of that movie Ocean's 8.
Yeah, and they were acting like that, like killing somebody versus stealing a car versus jaywalking. Like literally the whole judicial system is based on what you did is your punishment. Your parents do that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How bad was what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what that sounded like.
Exactly.
And we live in a world now where I have to be measured in the way that I say that what he said, affected me, how I heard it, and then I was like, this is just a typical fucking bald white male.
Yep.
And they go in that route. It's like you literally sound like what the fuck you're against, and it's not going to last. And I feel like it's like the end of the winter, and people want to go outside and get some sun on their face, and taking people by the back of their fucking neck and fucking shoving their face in the shit. That you can't sustain that.
No,
you can't sustain it. It doesn't.
It doesn't work. You don't get people to change by yelling at them. Doesn't work.
Or bombing them, like what the fuck we're doing. Like, that's not, all you're doing is you're just building up resentment, and more people want to fucking take you down. So that's like...
they don't understand psychology. So what they think is this is their time. This is their time to get back at men. This is their time to yell at men. This is the time to wear the Future's Feminine t-shirts. This is the time to take their stand. And did you not see the Women's March? Saw a bunch of people walking.
Right. Listen, I'm not saying the points that they're making don't need to be made. I'm not.
And that's another important thing, right? And I think that is an important that Burr is talking about in terms of nobody is saying that you don't have a voice. Nobody is saying that you shouldn't speak up. Nobody is against that part of it. We're against people trying to fire other people, trying to take your livelihood. And that's just only one example. There are plenty of other examples, right? Hey, like the video if I'm preaching right now. Come on now. You know I'm always going to give it to you straight. Back to the video.
Saying that their complaints are not just, it's the execution of it.
Yes.
Where it's like you're going to go through intimidation and destroying people, like
exactly
people's careers, and people, you have to publicly apologize. It's like
they're bullying people.
Yes. Some of the biggest bullies right now, I can't believe it because I'm a lefty, are on my side of the fucking fence. And you know, when someone's on your side of the fence and you're looking at them like you sound like a fucking crazy person, that's when you've entered, like, you know, what was your special? Strange Times?
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. Like, it's like.
It is strange. Yeah.
It is strange because it's.
They feel like they're justified because they feel like with a maniac like Trump in the office that they have to do what they have to do to change the world. But you don't change the world by yelling at people. It doesn't work that way. And there's real points to be made. There's real points about, I couldn't imagine being a woman working in an office with a bunch of guys trying to fuck you all the time. It's got to be a goddamn nightmare. I can't imagine having a bunch of bosses that literally tell you, you suck my dick, I'll give you a raise. Like, that happens. It's fucking, it's got to be hell. I get it. I mean, I get it.
But you
from
have to
top
be,
to
you
bottom.
got to be like an 8 though, 8 on up, to deal with that every day. I mean, let's be fucking honest. You know what I mean? There's
some sixes out there.
There's really good.
If you got to hit the gym a lot, got a nice ass.
I'm just saying, you know, it's just like some of that shit is like fucking, you know, it's. I always viewed it like you ever watch like the behind the scenes of like a prison, and the first thing every guy thinks is like, how the fuck would I not get raped in there, right?
Exactly.
Women have to think that just. Yeah. Fucking walking down the street. So that's how I wrap my head around to be like, wow, okay, like what they're saying is like, because I don't like a lot of the arguments, I'm not like, that doesn't make sense. It's what doesn't make sense to me is the children of the corn fucking, you know, torches burning and just go like the way that just I mean, a lot of people, like, they do that with like our foreign policy. Like, this whole fucking thing has bankrupted this country. Every August now, they just shut down the government, which has just become normal. And all they do to make it like okay is they just raise the level of debt that we legally can take on or whatever. And it's like, all right, let's do this for another year. And if you question any of that, that means you don't support the troops. And you're a fucking piece of shit. And you need to get the fuck out of here. And it's like, so much stuff doesn't make sense to me. Like, I just saw Michelle Obama. They had this fucking tweet of her wearing these glitter thigh-high boots and said, sets Twitter on fire with her $4,000 fucking boots. And it's just like, you know, do you don't question where she got that money? The president makes $500,000 a year. She blew $4,000 on thigh-high boots. And don't even talk to me about the fucking book deal and all of that shit. That fucking guy, his first like 2, you know, public speaking engagement things were like with major banks. And you go out on the road,
thousands of dollars,
and all these guys are like fucking. All these fellow Americans are upside down in the house from all those fucking banker cunts who did not get punished in 2008. They all. You want to talk about like people who should have had their fucking lives burned down? Those people. And these guys, they have their faces in the same fucking pig trough as the guys with the red ties. And for whatever reason, like, I don't know why, like, they get a pass.
Exactly. And
it doesn't make any sense.
How about more serious shit, like drone strikes? More innocent civilians were killed with drone strikes during Obama's administration.
I know, and that's why
I'm going to see if I can go back and kind of wrap this up because I feel like this is just getting too off topic. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can end it out.
You're going to go through intimidation.
There's a big difference between those two. And they attacked him and they tried to get him pulled off of that movie Ocean's 8.
Yeah, and they were acting like that, like, what the fuck you're against. And it's not going to last. And I feel like it's like the end of the winter and people want to go outside and get some sun on their face. And you like, no, like. All right,
I'm going to end it here. Guys, I 1000% agree. People are tired. right? This is literally why I started this channel. It's called Woke Virus, right? And, you know, I started it because I had a feeling that people are tired, and I tested my theory. Are people actually tired of this woke nonsense and all of this, the agenda being pushed and all of that? And the answer to it is yes. At the core of it, yes, people are tired. And I do believe change will come because I do think more and more people are getting tired of seeing and dealing with the same nonsense, right? And I do think there is change coming. 100%, 1000%. I think that it's coming, and in a positive way. And again, I am not knocking anybody on the other side in terms of, you know, however you feel about certain things, but trying to fire somebody because, like, that's, again, come on, right? So yeah, anyway, guys, that is just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You know I get active in those comments. Till next time, peace.